the Magician. Number 1 in the major arcana of tarot. The Magician is a colorful, playful card. It's also a serious card, but it has that quality of playing. Work so effortless, so focused, so easy to give oneself to, that it becomes the same as play. It feels like play. Play is work, work is play. That youthful enthusiasm also signified in some degree by the page cards in the tarot of the court cards. That ability to maintain wonder and the childlike point of view. That doesn't mean one behaves childishly. Actually, it does in a sense, but it doesn't mean that one becomes irresponsible and treats everything the way a child does. It means that you maintain a living, breathing openness, a wide-eyed perspective, the ability to absorb, not only to take in, but to absorb oneself into one's surroundings, into the world, into the situation. The ability, I mean, if you're a streamer, if you're on Twitch and you're streaming and you're having a good time and you stream for a long stretch and it seems like half an hour has gone by, you lose track of that time. That's kind of what's happening. Another way to phrase it is you're getting into the flow. The Magician you see there on the screen, that's a youthful interpretation of the Magician who has all of these skills and abilities and really finds themselves not really necessarily knowing fully how they do what they do. But they balance, they move things, they display abilities they almost didn't even know they had. You wouldn't expect them to have. Hi, Vulcan 3. I just saw your chat. I'm in the live stream portion of this. I'm great, Vulcan. What's going on here is I'm streaming on Twitch, and this stream that you are watching on screen here in Twitch is also displaying on a screen inside VR, which I will switch to now. So you can see there in a moment when it comes up that there will be an environment. As you can see, it goes on. It's like looking into a series of mirrors, but it's a VR environment where people will come for tarot readings, and this whole image is being streamed on the screen in the VR world. So I'll switch back to the tarot camera. But the idea here of the Magician, and this is the figure of the Magician here on screen, and that character from the tarot embodies the approach to these arcanum, these mystifying symbols that kind of elicit or incite or inspire some kind of almost spiritual awareness, a development. It gets the mind sort of percolating, and you start to think about things in a very mythic sort of a way, I guess. Story is involved, deep story that has profound effects on what we do and who we are and how we make sense of the world. And that magician has this quality of the magician card follows the fool card. The fool card is sort of the zero card. The magician is the one card in the major. Fool doesn't necessarily, you can actually argue with that and put the fool elsewhere. The fool kind of traverses the tarot. But the magician comes normally, just after this unnumbered fool card. And it takes a similar, it takes that sense of exploration from the fool and sort of makes it more specific and says, well, in addition to just journeying, to moving forward into the journey of life and through the tarot, come what may, I'm applying my entire energy and being to the tarot. I'm applying this playful, energetic, concentrated quality of my mind to this project of tarot. And you get that feeling sometimes in certain books you read about the tarot. Yes, Vulcan, I agree. The Magician is a very, very interesting card. They're all interesting, but the Magician sometimes rings a bigger bell in some people. And that's why I put the image there on screen with the colors and the glass colorful blue and pink beads, sort of to signify this balancing act, this juggling, this manipulating various forces and energy and objects. The crystal balls, yes, Vulcan 3, around the person. What you're seeing here is the initial sketch basis for the Magician card in my upcoming tarot deck that I'm putting together. That's what you're seeing. And the dots around the figure represent these different forces and talents, observations, messages, awarenesses, all of these different things the magician juggles and interprets and uses and creates from. And all of these things are sort of flying around the magician. He's using these sticks in his hands, maybe, or her hands, to sort of move them around and have fun. There's a playful, energetic quality that I perceive in the Magician card, and that I think one can use to great benefit while studying the tarot. You keep that magician in mind. I mean, someone else could put an older person in the Magician card, fine, but the representation of the sort of inner workings of the magician, I believe, have a playful quality. If you can maintain that, then you have kind of a really good attitude and openness that lets the tarot really, really operate on a deeper level than it might otherwise. The magician doesn't come at things and get stuck in skepticism. There may be doubt, but it's all kind of moving toward that youthful ability to absorb and discover and enjoy what one is working on. Like, this kind of work with tarot can be very serious and very involving, and one can work very hard at it. But if you keep that magician card in mind as an operator, the work never becomes a slog. It never becomes oppressive. You keep a light touch. You stay light on your feet. You keep the dancer in mind, and that's something very, very important. So what I'm going to do as the first thing I'll do is see if anyone wants a reading, if via Twitch. I can do that. I can certainly start out that way. And what I tend to do is start out this way on screen with the Twitch screen going, and then shift myself over into the VR world, which of course keeps going through Twitch, So it just becomes a different image with sort of people milling around as avatars in the VR tarot temple. It's pretty simple, really. Okay, Vulcan, go ahead. I will get started. Go ahead and just ask what you're thinking about, and then I'll show you how we can do this. What's coming for you in the career aspect, opportunity-wise? Okay. So let me switch you over. The image is going to switch over to the VR world, and you will notice very shortly that 3 cards will show up on the screen. And I will begin talking about your reading, and you'll be able to see those 3 cards in just a second. Now, the 3 cards on screen are what came up immediately. What happens is there's a randomizer that pulls 3 random cards from the deck, and I wrote this system myself. So it's a basically anytime I press the center card, it selects the 3 cards again. And what we have here is what I'm going to do is I'm going to press this card the number of times you tell me to. So Vulcan 3. Pick a number from 1 to 10. Four. Okay. I'm going to change these cards, random selection of 3 cards, 4 times, and then that will be the set of 3 cards for your reading. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now the reading has settled itself on number cards, which means that these ideas are somewhat changeable. They kind of move up and down like the waves on the ocean, gentle motion in and out, tide rolls in and out. These are not particularly long-term predictions about what's coming for you in your career aspect, opportunity-wise. These are going to be ideas and things to be aware of in the relative short term. Okay? Coming up pretty soon. So the idea here is, the message of this reading is, be ready now. Okay? Now, what we do is we look at the three cards and we say, okay, the card on the left is kind of something that we can depend upon, that's there, built in, that we don't have to really fret over too much. It's there, we can fall back on that. The middle card is something we kind of want to be aware of right away, like when we wake up in the morning. And the card on the right is something we want to move ourselves in the direction of, to get a little bit more of. It's the direction we want to go. Okay, and we're talking career. We're talking about opportunities. Okay, the left card, this heart. What you're seeing is the heart, the emotion, feeling, your love for whatever it is you do or are going to do. And the 5 says, there are feelings here that are coming in and they're kind of new that you have to deal with, that confuse you, that sort of burst in unannounced, and you weren't aware you quite felt that way. And there's this new feeling there, and it's a little, you don't always know quite how to deal with it at first. Yes, the next couple of weeks, basically. Well, maybe a little longer than that, but it's pretty short term. The next few weeks or month, let's suppose, with number cards. And this 5 of the cups with this is emotion. This is love. This is your feeling about things, about work, since that's what our topic is. This is following your heart, doing what it is you love to do. And what this card is saying is, there's sometimes a little bit of an unsettled feeling here, and there's some new feelings to deal with coming up here. Something you may already be aware of. That's why it's on the left. Something to not worry too much about because it's on the left, the first card. Something you can kind of go, well, okay, I kind of know I can deal with those feelings. I've done it before. I'm not really going to freak out about disturbing new feelings or really great new feelings. I'm going to stay kind of even-keeled and deal with them as they come. And I'm going to let the 5, this new destabilizing feeling, I'm going to use that new feeling. I'm going to benefit from it because I'm able to handle this. The 5 always indicates something unsettling coming in, but providing incredible opportunity. So the 5 could mean that there is incredible opportunity arising to actually begin the path of loving what it is you do, or doing what you love more, maybe, than you have up to this point. So let's keep that in mind on the left. And let's move into the card that's sort of flashing the big light at us, going, okay, now this is what we want to think about before we even have coffee in the morning. And that number is a 7, which is a really great number. And it's the suit of swords, which gets you into the mind. Argument, conflict, discussion, planning, meetings, back and forth, negotiations, anything involving back and forth, interrelationships on the mental side, on the thought, requiring you to apply your education, your knowledge, to making plans, getting things going, keeping things running smoothly, keeping friends or workers or bosses or anyone you have any kind of social interaction with, keeping them happy, keeping things going in the right direction. That's what swords are. If there's an argument going on, if there's conflict, if there's disagreement, it's how you deal with that and resolve those things. The intelligence and skill with which you resolve difficult issues or crises, okay? And the 7 always goes toward a higher level of understanding and kind of an unexpected, it fits in with the 5 in this way, and sort of an unexpected development and the urge to take this new understanding and apply it for the benefit of the situation. So The card is focusing at saying, okay, we've got this 5 over here of heart, loving what you do. Now let's focus on thinking. Let's focus on the rational part of doing this job, this career, these upcoming opportunities. And the opportunity coming is based upon some heightened awareness, some newly acquired understanding. Perhaps there's some amount of learning and something a little bit new that maybe you hadn't quite experimented with before. Some new development you're able to say, oh, I think maybe I can use that. And it's going to make things work out over here in this kind of a job. So the card is saying be very, very cognizant of this particular aspect of your personality and the way you work. Keep that in mind. Your ability to take new things, new ideas, and go, oh yeah, I know exactly now how to apply this to solve this situation. That's what the 7 is really good at. Now, that's something to be aware of right now, tomorrow morning when you wake up. Okay? Make that the card of the day, basically. Now that slides you forward into where you're going. And you've got another 5 here. So this reading is encapsulated on the right and left sides by 5s. And the 5 of Wands is what that is. And it indicates passion, creativity, the impulse to achieve, to make, to build, to accomplish anything you do at work, in your career that you want to create. Anything you want to build from scratch, anywhere you want to go, whatever it is you want to do, that Wands is your drive to do it, what pushes you, what compels you forward to do. Okay? Why does a novelist sit down to write their novel? The Wands are that energy that makes them plow through for years to get to the final closing sentence of their novel. It's that drive that gets them all the way through a seemingly impossible task. So what the card is saying here is now, the 5 again, that unsettling new idea. This whole reading, 5s and 7s, is about new ideas coming in and changing things, and you being able to go, oh, I can use this. I can use this. I'm not going to worry about this or go crazy about this new thing that I haven't thought of before, something that just presented itself to me. I'm going to use this. So this card on the right is saying, again, in the way you go after doing your work, your career, keep in mind and try to achieve a great level, a high level of new approaches to things. New energy, find new creative inspiration, basically. And this can hold I don't care if you're an accountant or a lawyer or a painter or a singer. These ideas are the same across the board, how you approach things creatively. Okay? So overall, you have, I see your comment, Vulcan, about recruitment agencies. Yeah, I know all about that. Yes, it can. And you know what? Recruitment agencies can get you. It can be very exciting, actually. When they start knocking on your door and sending you little messages and saying, "Oh, we have something over here." Yeah. Now, what the cards here are saying is follow the opportunities that kind of ring that bell and of what you love to do. You know what I mean? It's saying that's important. That 5 of the cups there is singing out. Like, keep that in mind, because it might be scary to follow your heart, but that 5 means you can use that. You can use that new feeling. The 7 of Swords sitting there in the middle. New ideas and awareness. Apply them. Apply everything you know to this new opportunity or your attempt to get this new opportunity. And on the right, the new approaches, how you creatively angle in there to get things done and get where you want to go. Keep going that way. And that's what this reading is suggesting. Now, Vulcan, what I'm going to do now is I have to jump in to the VR world so that the folks that have come in to Alt Space can ask me what they would like to ask. And I'm going to do that right now. I hope that really helps, Vulcan. Some just things to keep in mind as you go. So now I'm going to switch over to... I'm actually in the process of going in. So hang on just a moment. And... Okay. All right, so here I am. I'm in the VR world, waving. And on some nights it takes a little bit longer for people to come in. So what I'm going to do is just wait a bit. I'm going to unmute people so they can start talking to me if they come in here. Now, I can also change the cards on screen so that we can talk about a new set of cards.
Hello.
Oh, hi. I'm just, hi, how are you?
I'm
So,
doing well. How are you?
very good. Let me get out of the way of the fire pit there. Seal, hi, how are you? I was just
Say what?
talking to the folks that are watching on Twitch. So the idea here is that you simply ask whatever it is you would like to ask if you want a tarot reading, and then we do the reading right up there on the big screen.
Okay. Sure, I'd like to participate.
Absolutely. So basically, you go ahead and ask a question. It can be as general as you like. It's totally up to you.
Will I attain wealth?
Okay. That's, I think I should ask exactly the same question. So let's think about the whole idea of wealth. Now, give me a number from 1 to 10.
8.
Okay, I'll change those cards randomly 8 times. That's the first thing. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Here's what's going on. I'm going to mute microphones so we don't get microphone feedback. Okay, Seal. So you're talking about wealth. Now, the left card, we're going to look at as being something that you've got that's not a big concern at the moment because it's kind of built into the situation and you can kind of fall back on it anytime you need it. The middle card is something to be thinking about right away in the next, when in the morning, think about it as your card for tomorrow. And the card on the right is something you want to move closer to over the next little while. Nothing specific, just make an effort to kind of get there or think about it. Let it influence you. Okay, so on the left, here we have the Valet de Coupe, the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is a young. The
Page of Cups is a young woman or man who has a student-like quality, enthusiastic, but also easily confused, wondering which way maybe to go. In this case, with the heart, he's opened up his heart and he's looking in because feelings are kind of confusing this person. They're a little difficult to get a grip on. Um, Feelings maybe because we're talking about a question that's very broad, but it's about wealth, it's about finances, although wealth can mean many things. There's wealth. One can be wealthy without necessarily having the bank account you would necessarily assume. What you think of as wealth is what you want wealth to be. So when you feel that you are wealthy, you are. And that may or may not have to do with a specific number. And what that page suggests is this is what you need to figure out. What makes you wealthy? What pours into that cup to fill your heart and make you happy is your wealth. Now, that could certainly, absolutely be coins. It could be people. It could be that you create the next great American song. It doesn't matter. It's what you decide it is. And all the card is saying is you do have an ability to do this, looking into your heart to figure out what it is you consider your wealth. What is your gold? This card is saying you can do that. So don't worry about it, because when the time comes to do it, you can. That's why the card is there on the left. Now, that leads us to the thing to think about right away. And we get into the creative realm of wands and the 3, which is active. The 3 is this sort of, I'm not waiting anymore. I've made the plans. I've got the people. I've got everything I need. I've funded it. I'm jumping off the diving board into the pool. I'm gonna see what happens now with all my well-laid plans. Now it's time to fearlessly take the step. And that's what 3s are. They're the movement into real action after preparation. So as you kind of understand that you need to know what it is your heart tells you about what kind of wealth it is you want, you also want very soon to start looking at actual movement and be creative about it. You don't have to follow the guidebook. That's why it's wands. The wands are always the drive to do things the way you want to do them, what it is you love to do. If you know what you love, what is your wealth, what your gold is to you, then you kind of know how to build and create. You know how to do things your way. It'll just flow naturally because you know what it is makes your heart like vibrate. So that's why that 3 is there. Think about taking actual action soon. Now, on the right, you have this big major arcana card, which is a much bigger personality, sort of much bigger theme that's going to last longer. And what this La Lune moon card, the moon, what it suggests, and if you look at the number, you've got this 18 up there, the 1 and the 8. And the 8 is always this sort of infinite number, this infinite potential, and the 1, of course, being the unified whole. Well, the moon tends toward the unfathomable, the things that really make you kind of nervous when you wake up and you're like, oh, what was that all about? What was I just dreaming about? Oh my God, that's the crazy idea. That doesn't make any sense. I can't do that. That's scary. I don't know. And the moon is kind of about that sort of weird inspiration, that comes, and we don't really understand where it comes from or why necessarily we're doing it. But because it follows this page of cups, meaning explore what your goal is, what your love is. The middle card, take unique new action. And then that final card basically is suggesting an innate capacity to handle deep well springs of intuitive thinking, intuition, falling back on the hunch and not being afraid of it. The moon implies, look, you see these animals kind of going nuts at night. They're kind of disturbed. They're out. They're like, everybody else is asleep, and they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. And the crawfish is coming up out of the water to see what the heck is going on. Well, something's happening, and you see all this energy, this inspiration coming from the moon. It has a feminine quality. There's women involved. There's a feminine way of thinking, a less aggressive, less masculine, tough way. There's a gentler approach that kind of accepts what comes from the intuitive mind without resisting. And the card is saying, be prepared for that and don't ignore it. When it comes, that intuition that you're not knowing what the heck quite where it came from, that is something to pay very close attention to, because it could have a profound effect. You could take a very sort of mundane example of a stockbroker waking up going, I'm going to walk into my firm today and tell them to invest in these guys over here. And I'm not quite sure what it is, how I'm putting two and two together with them, but I know this. You know what I mean? And having faith in that intuitive sense. That's what that card is telling you to be aware of. Now I have to unmute the microphone. There you go. So, yes. So that the basic idea, once you get past kind of knowing what it is that you really value over here on the left, the basic idea, these two cards on the right reinforce each other with unique angles. Being aware of your unique ability to do things in a slightly different way that maybe other people haven't thought of, or might think they might not take as seriously as you do, and to be ready for that. So, yeah. I hope.
Thank you. That was insightful and informative.
Excellent. It's just what tarot is excellent food for thought. You know what I mean? That's the way I view it. So we have somebody else here just behind you whose name is Golden Girly. If you would like to ask, I know you didn't raise your hand or anything, but you were here. So if you want to ask anything at all, feel free.
Yeah, I actually do. I'm currently in nursing school, so I want to ask a question about that. Am I on the right path? And will I pass?
Ah.
That's it all.
Okay, that's a good one. Okay, so this is nursing school we're talking about, which is, I mean, when nursing, the word nursing comes up, and what immediately pops into my mind is you care for people. So let's start the reading up there on the screen. Give me a number from 1 to 10.
3.
Okay, hang on. I'm going to change those cards 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'm going to mute microphones just so I don't get a lot of buzzing and stuff. All right. Golden Girl. And by the way, you kind of have a golden card on the right there, which is kind of interesting. And I'll get to that in a moment. But what we have on the left essentially is something you can assume that you have and that is ready for you as you proceed through this scenario, which is the nursing school idea that you're thinking about. And in the middle is something to think about right away and to keep in mind as you wake up in the morning, just like sort of like, I'm going to keep this in mind today. And on the right is where you're heading, what you're going for. Okay, so on the left, you've got a sword card, and it's a king. Okay, so the king is this kind of, person who has this ability to use their mind, to apply their knowledge and skill and solve crises, solve situations, make conflicts resolve themselves in the best way possible. That king is a master of that kind of work. That his mind, and when we say his, we're talking about it's almost arbitrary. It's like just a particular aspect of thinking that tends to have, as the tarot is concerned, a sort of a sense of power and authority. And what it means is you, man or woman, makes no difference, draw upon that particular kind of ability. And what this card is showing is this ability to resolve, to handle conflict in the best way possible for everybody, and to take charge. King or queen card, they're able to take charge. They're able to resolve things, to take care of everybody, to make sure that everybody is okay. They can take care of not only the people, they can take care of the place, the entire situation. They can encompass things and resolve things with skill and calmness of mind. That's the thing about the king. Calm. Your subject is nursing. You don't want nurses freaking out in the hallways about everything. A nurse has to maintain a certain calm demeanor, even if the world is on fire. They have to be very brave. I mean, I don't know. I'm just guessing from what I've seen. It's always sort of seemed to me that they have to do sort of those things. And the king just represents, he embodies that, whether we're talking about a man or a woman. So the card being there where it is on the left side is saying, hey, this is part of you. This is something you can always depend upon and nobody can argue with it. So don't worry about that part. Now, in the middle, you come to a 2. We've got 2 2s coming up in this reading, one after the other. The middle 2 is again a sword card, just like the king of the swords. Again, it's your ability to think things through and find solutions and deal with crises. But what the 2 is showing is preparation. It's the gathering of force to prepare for the next big movement, the next big step, the next action. If we're talking about nursing school, then what it implies is this school, this sense of preparing and getting ready. And you can see that what happens here in this particular tarot deck with the 2 of swords is they kind of encompass, they form a protective sort of capsule around this blossoming foliage in the middle that's kind of an indicator of life growing, the birth. It's a birth. And so that means that the card wants you to keep that birth in mind, which is probably yourself as a nurse, since that's what is paramount in your consciousness, your birth as a nurse, as somebody that can take their ability to solve things and to help people. You can take all of this ability and bring it into the world and use it to do the main mission of helping. And so that too is there saying, this is coming. Your mind is building, your knowledge is building, it's preparing, it's building this perfection. Let it happen. It's happening. And what it now, then that sends you forward to the card on the right, which is the realm of coins, the golden coin, the physical, the earthly, the body, health. In many readings, you can interpret coins. If somebody is talking about money, they become the money. If somebody's talking about their house, it becomes the house. It's the physical aspect of what you're doing. The first two cards are the mental. The last card is the physical, which in your scenario of the nursing school implies the physical corporal body, the what it is that you help people with. And again, you've got a 2, which is again the coupling. And you see the blue ribbon wrapped around the 2 coins, and the 2 ends of the blue ribbon are almost about to come together to form that 8 symbol, also known as the symbol for infinity, if you put it horizontally, if you turn it over. The implication being that as the 2 coalesce, as they come together, as the gathering of all your force, of all your knowledge and skill and effort, those things all sort of fall together as you proceed through school, they connect and they get a tight bond, which allows you infinite possibility for forward movement and growth and development when the blue ribbon connects. So for a school situation where you're going through, trying to proceed through and graduate or get a certificate or however it works in your field, the 2 means that yes, you're pulling these things together. They're coming together. They're just about to click. You know? And so just keep following that path. That's what this card is saying. You're on it. You're right there. They're just going to snap together. And once that ribbon closes, bingo, you're out there and people will benefit from your presence. That's the tone of this particular reading. All of this coalescing and growth is happening, leading toward this next step after your preparation into the world of work and action. And in your world, that is helping people. And that's the road that your reading has taken.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you so much. I
Yeah.
need to hear that.
Yeah. Well, and I should say, I actually know some medical people, so thank you for being a nurse. That's very cool.
Oh. Thank you. I
Yeah.
love doing it.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Oh.
Good. Well, it looks like you're going to be doing it, so there you go. Oh, you know what I forgot to do is,
Dream.
yeah, I mean, that's follow your dream. I totally forgot to enable the hand raise thing. Darn it. I'm sorry that I'm so bad at this panel. I mean, I literally forget what I'm supposed to press. Okay, so I enabled the hand raise thing. Here we go. Noodle head? Is that what it I think that's what it says. It's your turn.
Well.
So, Noodle, there you are.
Ooh.
Okay, come on over. It's your time to ask a question. It can be general as you like. It's your call.
Okay. I want to know if I'm going to be happy in the future, specifically my love life. It's been very complicated
Okay.
so far, and I just want to know if,
Yeah.
it'll end up, good.
Okay. Yeah. That is one of those like top concerns that everybody has,
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So pick a number from 1 to 10.
And
Yeah.
7.
Okay. So I'm going to change the cards on screen randomly 7 times. 1, 2, 3,
Am I supposed to be seeing them on the screen?
5, 6, 7. Yes. Do you see 3 cards up on the screen?
No, all I see is a pink screen.
Huh. You may have to re-enter the room. Does
Could you
everyone...
just tell me what's on it? Because I know tarot cards and I know what they look like.
You do? Let
You
me
could just
check.
tell me, like, the
Does
words.
everyone else see the cards on the screen? Yes? Oh, yeah. You know, I think you should re-enter the room. I think you'll enjoy it better. Don't worry. I'll wait. I'll
Oh,
wait.
wait.
Yeah, just re-enter. Just leave the event and pop back in and come right back. I'll be standing right here. Don't worry. And that'll reset the screen for you.
Okay. Okay.
Just like go out to the main.
Re-enter. Re-enter event.
Yeah. I think I see her. She's coming back.
All right. Bad news. It's still a pink screen.
Oh. Okay. Well, who knows what's going on, why that would be. But okay. So I will then just tell you what is up there. They're actually very interesting cards. Okay. And if you know tarot, you'll know what I'm talking about right away. Okay. So it's 3 cards.
I can see in my mind.
Yeah, exactly. 3 cards, and the card on the left we kind of think of as a quality that you've got that you can call upon, and the card in the middle is something to wake up in the morning and just keep your awareness of, really think about, let it be the driving factor in this particular scenario. And the card on the right is something to move more toward. Now, the card on the left is the Hanged Man, Major Arcana, the Hanged Man, hanging upside down between the 2 trees. And the Hanged Man is kind of like saying, hey, I got to get over myself a little bit. I got to like drop my guard. No, you don't run across anyone hanging upside down out in the forest who hasn't basically dropped their guard. They're not exactly in a defensive posture. They're kind of saying, whatever happens, I'm just going to see what happens. I'm going to leave myself here. And I'm basically dropping my guard so that I can kind of just let things come, just absorb things as they are around me. The moment, take in the moment, just kind of be. Put myself, and he's upside down, so that means his head is at or below ground level, which means it's almost like saying, get out of your head. Don't get too wound up in the way you try to manipulate your thoughts and come up with this and that will lead to, if I do this, then it'll be that, and I have to accomplish this before I get that. If we're talking about love life, it could have to do with how one is always thinking about other people or how things should go or expectations. And the hangman is saying, hey, just kind of don't worry too much about it. Let things kind of go slow and drift a little bit and just let yourself see how you feel in the next while without panicking. And the card's there on the left because it's saying, hey, you already know how to do this. You do this in other areas. You can certainly do it in this area. Same thing. So it's saying basically don't worry about it too much because you can do this. All you have to do is decide to do it. So that's the hangman. Now, the card in the middle is quite interesting for your subject matter because it's the Ace of Cups, which is the heart. It's love. And the ace is always the huge sign saying, oh my gosh, big, something big is coming. And it's like a major with infinite potential. And it's right there because I'm the Ace of Cups and I'm here to tell you that the entire rest of the cup suit is contained within me, and that basically means a bursting full heart ready to do any number of things right there in front of you, very close. It's the middle card. It's saying keep this in mind starting tomorrow morning, right away. Keep it in mind because something's up. Okay, big heart news. All right, now what that leads over on the right, the last card, is we're going into the mind, and it's the Eight of Swords. The mind, resolution of conflict, details, discussion, talk, anything that gets you sort of back up into your head. You've got the hangman over here saying, get out of your head. And then on the card on the right here, it's talking about the head again. But it's the Eight. And the Eight has this whole thing about balance. You know, the symbol 8, again, the symbol of infinity, but it's got that totally balanced sort of like yin and yang coming together. It also implies time for change. Okay, so there's this seeking of balance, infinite possibility, again represented in the 8, a sense of perfection, and also this kind of ability to change, to further enhance and perfect what it is that you are or have or do. And because we're in the head space again here, it's basically a suggestion that as you move forward, try to think about changing the way you think about things. Change your general approach to what normally, you might have a routine every day, you're doing things, and then you realize, you know what? That actually isn't the best way to do things. I'm going to change my routine drastically, and you might start enjoying it more. And that's what that 8 is saying. Think about further perfecting the way you think about relationships and your love life. That will be informed, of course, by this Hanged Man card suggesting that you don't get too caught up in just thinking. And the Ace of Cups is there to say, follow the heart. Let that thing, if someone knocks on the door and your heart skips a beat, don't close the door. If your heart does that little skip, don't panic. Don't get all caught up in your head thought going, oh, no. This person doesn't do the kind of work I was expecting they should do. The Ace of Cups is there saying, open that door. In general, that's what this is. The basic idea here is let the thinking change. Don't get caught up in the same kind of thoughts over and over again. And let the heart announce itself and follow it. And there
Okay.
you So that
Cool.
that may help, or at least give you like that little inspiring thought, when it's
Yeah,
needed.
thank you.
You're welcome. All right. There is Waffles. I think Waffles. Where's Waffles?
Who?
I think there's someone. Oh, Waffles. This is you. I didn't even see you there. Hi.
Hi. I can't see your screen. Your screen's green.
Oh, one of our other people said it's pink. Hold on. Let me see. Hang on a second. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try to disconnect it. And then
Okay.
now what do you see on there?
A triangle.
Okay, good. Now, I can't. What do you want to say? Yep. I'm trying to reconnect the screen for us. Do you see anything now?
Oh, it's there.
You see it? Okay. All right, so come on back over here to the middle.
Okay.
I lost.
Behind you.
Oh, there you are. Okay. Okay, so now that you can see the cards, you can go ahead and ask whatever it is you would like to ask, and it can
So
be
I can
very
ask any question at all.
any question. Yes. Just don't ask me what kind of car I drive, because I don't know anything about cars.
Ask if Tupac's
How's
dead
the
or
rest
alive.
of the week gonna go?
How,
How's the rest of my week gonna go?
how's the rest of your week
Friday.
going to go? Okay. All you have to do now is pick a number from 1 to 10.
8.
8. Okay, I'm going to change those cards 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Do you see the cards?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm going to mute microphones so that I don't get a bunch of squeaky feedback. All right. Don't let that left card scare you. Okay? What we're dealing with here, we're talking about something that's ostensibly kind of short term, how the next week is going to go. The cards are actually trying to be a little bit more significant than that for you, oddly. The card on the left we sort of assume is something that kind of is already there, that's kind of happened, and that you've maybe had to deal with, and it shows like a capability that you have that you can always count on, that's going to be there for you. The card in the middle is something to really be aware of right away, at like today, tomorrow morning, sort of a card to meditate on. The card on the right is something to move yourself in the direction of. On the left, we've got the 13th card, the nameless card, often interpreted, for whatever reason, as the death card. Ooh, okay. What it really is the big change card. It's the card of, it's death in a way. Something has ended. Something's done and finished, and it's time to put it away. And what you see the image doing is using something that's died as, quite literally, fertilizer to prepare the ground of their life, the future, for the next thing, the next crop of wheat or corn or whatever it is that you're growing or working on. So something negative, something that you've had to deal with, that has passed on, that you've had to let go of, that's had an effect on you, actually has this potential for use. You use, you grow, you learn. Anything that happens in our lives, depending on our personalities, death of a pet, the loss of a job, the deciding, oh my gosh, I'm not interested in being a pilot anymore. I actually want to drive ambulances. Well, that pilot is passing. You're letting something go and you're preparing for the next stage of your own development. That card on the left is what that is about. And it's saying, this has happened. You've done it before. You know you can do it. You always are able to draw upon that sense of, how can I learn and grow from this? That's what you do. Get ready to do it again. You have this innate capability. And that brings you to the card to think about. And it's a knight of coins. The coins are the realm of the physical. Money, house, body, medicine, health. Anything you can hold and touch and, attain. Also your job. Anything you go and seek to get to help you live. That's what's embodied by the coins. And the knight is this active, fearless part of you, this moving out there and just doing it and going after it, almost sometimes with a little bit too much bravado. You sometimes have to kind of pull the horse back and go, oh, careful. But the knight here is saying, think about this. Think about moving yourself forward. Think about going after some goal, something that you've wanted, something you need to do. It's saying, don't forget to just cut loose and get it done. I want you to think about that. Pull on that active part of you and bring it up. Don't watch TV. Turn the TV off. Go out and do the thing that you know needs to be done. And it may be difficult. It may have something to do with some discomfort from the past, like that card on the left. But deal with it, that card is saying. And we're talking about sometime this next week. It could be something very specific that needs doing, that the card is reminding you, you have to take care of this. It's going to require some activity, so go get it done. All right, now that leads you over to the next step, what you kind of want to move closer to. And it's a 9, and it's cups, and the cups are your heart, your beating heart, what you love, who you love, your feelings, your whole emotional life this week and beyond, probably. And that 9 is this kind of sense of pushing through something, getting past something that has been hard. And it wants you to rely upon that card on the left, that ability to grow from things, to learn from them, and push through to finish something off so that you're ready to say, that's done with. I'm now ready for this next thing. And that 9 there of cups says it's going to be very emotional. It's an emotional issue. But you're almost there. You've almost dealt with it, or you will be. And it'll play a role this week, because that's what we're talking about. But it's going to last a bit longer than that, because these are kind of big cards. So think about moving toward some kind of resolution in something that has got your feelings up, got your feelings involved. General trajectory, this ability to learn to put things in the past away and to grow, let them create a healthy new approach or environment. You have that power. Now, do the things that need doing that are very specific and material. Take care of them. Get them out of the way. That's what the knight is saying on the horse. And be prepared to get closer to your feelings in some area here that where you've almost arrived at something, but have to make more effort to get there and finalize it, to understand it. That's your general trajectory there of what they're saying.
That's freaky. Yo, do you know how freaky this is?
Is it really?
It makes so much sense. Yo!
Well,
I
so,
don't think you realize how much sense that makes.
and you can see them, right? Still?
Mm-hmm.
Good. So I was just hoping that I didn't want you to be seeing a green screen. So
Yo, that's freaky.
well, I'm glad. It should be a little freaky. That's what tarot does. You know, that's the whole point.
Is this like are tarot cards like on a Ouija board?
Well, Ouija board, I've never really trusted them because I've always felt that Ouija boards, and maybe this is actually a good thing, it probably is. I think Ouija boards kind of, when you hold your, you know how you hold your hand on the Ouija board, like a group of people, I think that the people subconsciously move it around.
That's why people say never play it by yourself.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think
I'm too scared to do it by myself. I ain't doing that shit. Y'all got me.
Yeah. But tarot cards, you know, you do shuffle the deck, and so you don't know what's going to come out. When you pull cards in tarot, you have no idea. But how you interpret those cards is the whole thing. And the reader, when I read them for you, how you use that, how you interpret that whole reading is very, very individual to you. I mean, it's what you do with all of those words that
That's so scary though.
No, it's not scary. May I, can I join?
Yes, you
Or is
absolutely.
it just a personal reading? Should I go in?
No.
No, I
No.
think tarot cards are awesome. Like, I've been doing them for so many years. And I saw you were here, Waffle, so I followed you. I've been doing them for so many years.
Yeah.
If you believe, if you feel it, sometimes I feel it and sometimes I don't with people. And if
Yeah.
I feel it, it's usually spot on. And if I don't feel it, I say I don't feel it, and they don't feel it either.
Yeah.
And I've never charged for it. I do it for friends, family,
Yeah.
my kids, blah blah blah. And what deck are you using?
The Tarot de Marseille. It's that, you know, basically, like, they always say it's from the city of Marseille in France, but it's actually the version up here, you know, yes, it's from Marseille because printers in Marseille, like in 1740, they did versions
brutal.
of the deck, but it actually started way earlier than that in Italy. You know, you have Italian decks that are almost identical.
Like in the 1400s.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. And I met another guy on here that's his actual job is for goodness, is he from not England, he's Scotch. Have you met him?
Oh, really? No.
Forget his name.
Because I
Yeah,
always,
he does it for a living.
if he has a Scottish accent.
He does a lot of the meditation. He does a lot of
Oh, I know
meditation.
him.
Yeah. I talked to him about it, and I have like 3 cards. I have 3 decks. I was like, oh, tarot reading. I was like, what do I have in my drawers? Oh, I got the Tarot Mucho deck. I got the Robin Tarot deck. I got the beginner one.
Yeah.
And I just bought my son. Oh gosh.
Don't
One of the
beginners
beginner
use the
ones.
Maestro
I got it for
King?
Christmas.
Oh, you got
What's
a tarot for Christmas? That's a great
No, for
Christmas.
my son, he wanted them. I have like 18 decks at home. I love
yeah.
them. I was like, oh yay, tarot.
Well, it's like once you start
believe
with
it.
tarot, every time you walk into a shop somewhere and see a little tarot
You're like, yeah,
shelf.
what do you have?
Yeah.
What do you have? Old bookshelves are the best. I was in Vermont in this old bookshop, and they had so many. They were like hand colored, and there was a lot of money, hand painted. Wow, they're
Yeah.
gorgeous.
This is so freaky.
No, it's not
Really
freaky.
freaky.
It's not freaky.
No, it's not. It's
spot
not
on.
that the deck is freaky. is that I didn't trust them until this reading,
Ah.
and it freaks me out so bad. Of whoa.
It can either be spot on or it can be off, and if it's spot
it's
on,
spot
it's
on.
perfect.
Yeah.
And I always read like the death card as just major like change, like depending on
Yeah.
obviously which deck you
Yeah,
have.
isn't that one
just
like mean like
change.
major
It's not
change
bad,
in something
it's
that's not
change.
majorly happened?
Oh yeah, but it's also in this position here because it's on the left, and with this 3-card spread, the assumption when I do this particular form of reading is that 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 represents an innate ability you have that you can rely on. So in this situation with that card, it's your ability to grow from change and to
That's
handle,
awesome. That's
to
a
process it.
wonderful ability.
Yeah.
It's
And I
so
don't even know
freaky,
him.
yo! And the last one,
No.
what's it? The last one's heightened emotions. Something.
Yeah, well, it's this need to kind of finish something and get to the next. You're
That makes it even
almost.
more freaky. Yeah.
Well, that's a good reaction. I mean,
I'm gonna talk to you later
I read
about
for
why that's
my
freaky.
kids before I knew things that were happening. My son was just going off to college, and the deck that I was using, the Tarot Mucha, I had pulled. He pulled because I didn't touch the cards. I let them pull what they want.
Yeah.
And each person shuffles them differently, and I said at least shuffle them 3 times, and
Yeah.
then we can do either a spread or you can pull one card and then we can pull another card. We can talk about it and stuff like that. My son pulled the Fool, which is basically in that Tarot Mucho deck. It's change. You've got support by your side. You're going through huge changes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting I get on the top of my head. I get like goosebumps on top of my head when I feel it
Yeah.
all through my body. And literally, we're sitting there 3 times. He
Yep.
pulled it after shuffling. That's 1 in 470,000 chances. He should have put the lottery. I wouldn't let him pull a 4th time, but he took the cards from me and he pulled the 4th one. It was very similar. I was shocked. I mean, I've never had that. No one has ever pulled that on a 1 card for me.
Yeah.
My daughter pulled the Sunchild. It was a couple years ago before
Yeah.
she got pregnant. I didn't
Ah,
know she was even gonna try.
yeah.
And it was, she pulled that 3 times, and no one ever has pulled that on a 1 card for me.
Right.
And we go to this place in a cabin in the woods where it's very woo woo, and we'll have a couple glasses of wine and whatever. And it's just, I had goosebumps up and down my arms, and I'm like, the whole reading was, I'm like, my daughter, you're going to go through some terrible times. You're going to have a really, she had enough.
Yeah.
You're going to have a really terrible time. Something's going to happen. I don't know what, but you're going to get through it, and you're going to be so happy.
Yeah.
That happened, and I'm like, I had no knowledge of what was coming. I had no knowledge of what was happening with her, and everything happened over the next year, and then she ended up having my first grandson, and now she's pregnant with a second, and she's very happy.
Wow.
And I was just like, oh my god! And she bought me these cards. It was a gift
Oh, yeah.
because she went to New Orleans.
Yeah.
And she bought this Tarot Mucho deck, which was like $50. You can get it on Amazon for 20, right?
Yeah.
But it was a gift of the heart, of love. And I've been doing tarot since I was 17
Yeah.
with my friends from high school. And
Well, I can tell you
just
have a great
love it.
perspective on tarot, just in general.
well, it's each deck can be slightly different, but you can still kind of read them the same and everything. And
Yeah.
I don't memorize them. I don't have them memorized. I have to look a lot of them up because I don't do it enough
Yeah.
to have it memorized. And I let everybody touch the cards themselves. And it's people that I love, people that I know. I've never done it for money. I've never taken anything except for a glass of wine. As
That's
but,
payment. That's payment enough.
well, usually I'm providing the wine because
Yes.
I have better wine than them. And I love doing it. So I followed her. I found her like a couple weeks ago,
That's
and I
good.
followed her I don't know how long I followed her in your. I don't know. Would you mind reading for me?
Well, I have it.
No one ever reads for me.
Oh, really? Well, what time is it?
Yeah.
It's oh, it's.
I don't know.
Can you
Did you have to
can
get-
you
it's
come in?
10:13.
Can you come in tomorrow?
My mom had.
Okay, I'll do a
surgery
quick one.
today.
I'll do
She's
a
at
quick.
my
I'll
house.
do a
She
quick
finally-
one. I'll do a quick one. I'm. The
Okay.
only reason I say
She's
this is
okay. It was just oral surgery.
okay. So
Just teeth out.
I'm gonna do a fast one because I'm 15 minutes overtime, and I have to jump in
Did
the
you get in trouble
car.
for that?
What? Do
Oh,
I?
I'm sorry.
I'm not going to get in trouble, but no, Altspace isn't going to get me in trouble. I'm sure
I
Altspace
thought
is
maybe,
happy
like,
when
you
things
pay
go
for
over.
a certain number of time.
No, no,
and
no,
I
no,
don't know
no,
how
no,
it works.
no. They don't care. I just have to.
Do you come in a lot? Because I'd love to talk to you again.
Oh yeah,
May
I always put these
Okay.
up. I announce them. I put them on the events schedule, like early in the day, like in the morning, and then I
Yeah.
always do them at
Okay.
6 p.m. California time.
Oh.
So the time it
Okay,
was
California.
tonight, I always do it at that time.
I'm on right coast, left.
So I mean, if you
East
can you
Coast.
come if you can come in tomorrow, then I can spend more.
I don't know because I have my mom
Uh,
here and I have to get her back home, and she's got dementia.
okay,
and
well, okay,
God,
then
I have
ask.
to go through.
Okay, so what's on your mind then? Go ahead and just talk.
I would like to know what's on. How about like the next year in terms of health and I'd like to meet somebody again.
Okay, is this is you, and
A
this
man.
this
A
is
man.
not your mom.
Me.
This is you. Okay.
Not my mom. No, mom has dementia. She
okay.
doesn't need another man.
Ah.
Last one took $300,000 from her and ran away.
Okay. Jeez.
So
Well,
it's for me. For
okay.
me, I'd like to know what the next year holds because I have some health issues
Okay.
that will have to have an operation, and I would just like to move on with my life and
Okay.
be young again.
And you would like to meet someone. Yeah, that's kind of what.
I would, but I'm a little scared.
Okay. All right. So give me a number from 1 to 10, and I will randomize those cards that number of times.
7.
7. Hang on a sec.
7.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Wow.
Well,
Wow, that's big.
now
Pretty big.
let's think about. I'm gonna mute microphone so I
And then
don't.
the King of Cups. There's the King of Cups. Woo.
Yep.
Okay, I'm seeing some things here.
I'm gonna mute everyone just while because sometimes I get these
Is there other
weird
people here?
microphone things. There's one other person, but I think she's just interested in watching. So hold on a
Oh, I
sec.
thought she was your backup.
Well, actually, since and I don't hear feedback, so I can leave the microphones on. Okay,
Did I delete
so
you? No.
left card, you've got kind of basically a thing that's natural to you, a thing that you can kind of draw upon, something that is innate to you that you've experienced before. You may have forgotten it to some extent, but it's right there. The card in the middle, something to really think about now. Grab onto each morning. The card on the right, movement forward, what you want to kind of get closer to, the path you want to follow. So let's talk about that card on the left. And as you know, that's a huge card, the ultimate major arcana.
Le monde.
Yeah. You've got the world, which is this incredible, almost womb-like birthing structure, this wholeness, this kind of complete personality, complete psyche, a psyche that's taken all these messages and influences and has balanced them. You see the four corners, these messengers, these guardians, the four corners of the earth, of the universe, all conspiring to help. Well, no, it's a thing. It's behind you in the sense that it's built in, and you can draw upon this anytime you need it. It's basically saying, don't forget this. Don't forget this about yourself. It's right here for you. So that quality that you have, that ability to to bring things together and create harmonious wholes, to create a unit, to create a home, to protect, to help, to make everything sort of bring things to fruition, make people happy and comfortable and bring them into the world of joy. You protect things. You bring things
Yes, I do.
into being. Okay. And it's
Yes, I
got,
do.
yes. And you mentioned a mom, even though this question isn't about your mom, you did mention her. And that indicates something very important
My
to the
mother.
world card. The
Mm-hmm.
world card is about
And my
birth.
children, I mentioned them.
Yes, it has
And my
all of that
grandchildren.
in it. And it's basically
Mhm.
saying fall back on all of that and the feelings associated. Don't hide from them.
That's
Don't
my
ignore
strength.
them.
No, that is my strength completely.
There you
Completely,
go.
that is my strength. That's
And
what I rely.
so it's
That's what I
saying,
rely upon.
yeah. And so it's saying over this question of yours for the next year that involves your own health and finding someone and being happy, that is going to play a huge role, and you can pull that power up out of yourself and apply it. Okay? So basically,
Mhm.
rest at ease with that. Now, you come in to another major. Temperance is
Yeah.
there with her mixing jugs, and she's saying, hey, you know what? Everything's basically going to be okay. And it's not in a simplistic sense. She's not just saying everything's going to be okay. She's saying, well, things are okay because you're able to take things that don't necessarily harmonize, that are at conflict. Maybe there is a health problem that's in conflict with how you think about finding someone to be with. There might be something where you think,
Mhm.
oh, that holds me back. Is that ever going to get better? Is that going to, oh my gosh, I can't. How am I going to deal with this? Well, temperance is able to take those things and kind of, she's diluting, she's mixing, she's diluting different elements, and she's creating something with them. They're no longer in conflict. And by doing so, she's able to settle things. She's able to calm that beating heart, that she's able to say, why be all tense and afraid every day about this or that and how this is going to turn out? I know I have this world power in me. I know I have this wonderful, loving home. I know I have this ability to bring things together and make them grow, to bring things to birth, to fruition. I'm going to continue to use that to resolve these conflicts and crises that many of them are in my own mind. They're not necessarily
Yeah, definitely.
external,
They are.
but it's
No, I know many are.
yeah. And so temperance is actually a very psychological card, because that's what happens when you work psychologically, when you are a therapist or when you're a tarot reader. Even if you read for other people, you know, at times you have had a sense of calming someone's worries. And that's what temperance
Yes.
does. She tempers, she eases. Things start
Sounds
to
like I take care of a lot of people. Which
well,
I do.
yeah,
I take care
yeah,
of a lot of people.
yeah. And
But
so
I feel like I get the strength back from them to the next step. You know, I
yeah,
take care of them and I get the strength back into myself.
you get the strength back, and you can pull upon these powers continually.
Yeah.
And everything about these first two cards indicates a movement toward health. You know, birth,
Mhm.
fruition, wholeness, mixing things and creating something new, getting into the flow, making things work more smoothly for yourself and everyone else. And then on the right, the King of Cups pops up. So let's
Yeah,
not
what's
even
that?
assume this is a person. Let's not even assume this is a
Okay.
man, because it doesn't have to represent that. It can just as easily
No, I know.
represent you realizing that you do have this romantic, loving development happening. This ability to say, I know what I want. I know who I want. I know how to get it. I know how to take care of my heart. Kings know this stuff. They don't freak out. They have like a calm, just like temperance. They have a calm, look how he's sitting. He's probably got his thumb hooked in his belt there. He's just kind of like, yeah, I got my heart here bouncing it on my knee like a kid, like a baby. I'm basically not too concerned about my heart because I've got this. I know what to do. And that card is on the right, and that means that's what you're going to get. So you're going to be going at this ability to master your heart in the realm of romance. You mentioned finding someone. That's what that card is addressing. So,
Well, I haven't thought about finding someone for a long time. I've worried about my family. I'm
Yeah.
divorced, and I'm still great friends with my ex-husband. Like, we're brother-sister friends. Like,
yeah.
best friends.
Hey, you
And
can't beat that.
I have no animosity in me against anybody except for my mom's ex-husband, but that doesn't.
Well, but see, there you
But,
go. That's temperance at work.
It's protecting her because she has dementia, and he took her for everything.
Oh, well, that's a whole other.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
But I always, when I would do, and you had to pick a card to be yourself, I would always pick the Queen of Cups for myself because that was, to me, since I was 17, that was the card I would pick for me. So it would be nice to find my King of Cups.
There you go. Well,
Even if it's within myself.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, yeah, this was fun. Thank you.
Well, yeah, and I hope you come back here for other of these events because you are like one of those, you have a really good tarot mind. So that's what
I completely
need.
believe in it. My kids believe in it. My son, he's 22. He asked for his first deck, and he's getting it. Actually, not for Christmas. He's getting it for his birthday. I bought him the Rider Tarot deck. I figured that would be good to start on, and I got them the book and everything. He doesn't know. I hope he can't hear me. He's in another room. And he wants to do it too, and I'm really happy because both of my kids really
good.
When they feel it with me, and they both actually take life advice from this.
Yeah.
When I do it, only when I do it.
Yeah.
So we're not religious, but we really.
Hey, yeah.
It's in your heart. What's in your heart, right?
Exactly. I mean,
you feel it in your heart.
I always view the tarot as sort of a spiritual activity.
Yes.
Without and any religion can use tarot. It doesn't matter. Any belief can use.
And that's how I felt about my yoga practice until I hurt myself, and I haven't been able to do that, and I miss it. So I've been doing more tarot.
Yeah.
And I want to get back to my yoga so bad. That was my me time. So
now,
I had a good time.
As I said, Queen V, I have to jump in my
I know.
car.
You got to get in the car.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
But yeah, definitely come back. And Kojak, you come back too. And I will see you all next time. I'll do this again tomorrow, I think, at the same time. So if you want to come tomorrow, come tomorrow.
6, 7, 8.
Okay,
I'll
so
see if I can talk my son to it if we've got my mom back home because he would like
Definitely.
to do this with someone.
Bring
well.
it.
But don't tell him I bought him tarot cards for his birthday.
No. Believe me, I would never.
Somebody, don't tell him.
I will not.
If I show up.
I will not. Okay. Bye, everybody, and
Thank you.
I'll
Goodbye.
see you next time. See you later.